Alright, so the first problem I identified was that the patient was unable to reach forward or to the side without losing their balance, so she needed to use her hands to balance herself when reaching to the side and forward. So, why is this a problem? Physiologically, um, the patient's limits of stability are not very large, so the patient can't reach very far outside of her base of support without losing balance. And then this may be due to a lack of core or trunk stability or strength. And then another possibility is that the patient has an impaired sense of proprioception. And the reason this is a problem for the patient is that because it limits the patient's limits um, her ability to be able to reach and interact with objects and things in her environment in a safe manner. And then the goal or objective to address this problem is that in 3 weeks the patient will be able to reach forward independently 2 feet to grab an apple from a table while maintaining her balance. And then the intervention that I came up with was to start off having the patient sitting on the edge of a firm surface, so instead of the soft bed, starting off on a firmer surface, and then place the favorite's favorite kind of apple on a table 1 foot away from her and then have her reach forward and grab the apple, um, and we repeat this 20 times. Or if the patient is unable to do it 20 times, doing it as many times as she's able, and then doing that for 3 sets with a brief rest period in between each set. And then we'd progress and move the apple 2 feet away, and again have her reach, do several repetitions, and then finally, if she's able to achieve that, then we'd progress it again and move to the softer surface like the bed she was sitting on, and then repeating it and starting off with the apple just a foot away, and then moving it to 2 feet once she's able to do that. So then the second problem was the patient is unable to march in a sitting position without using her hands for support and balance. So why is this a problem? The patient has poor balance, so this may be due to trunk weakness or possibly because of damage to the vestibular or cerebellum from the TBI that the patient sustained. And then this is a problem for the patient because she cannot keep her balance when marching in a seated position, so she will be unable to, if she can't maintain her balance while marching in sitting position, she's not going to be able to do that for walking, so this will require that the patient has to use an assistive device when she's ambulating, which means her hands won't be free when she's walking and ambulating, so it'll kind of limit how she's able to interact with her environment. So the goal or objective for this problem is that in 2 weeks, the patient will be able to march in place 10 times each leg independently without losing her balance in order to perform ADLs at the bedside, such as donning and doffing socks and shoes. So the intervention for this one is to have the patient sitting on the edge of a firm surface. If the patient is unable to march without losing her balance or using her arms for support on this surface, then I would provide tactile cues and assistance, and I would have the patient do it 10 times, 10 marches on each leg, and do 5 sets with a short rest in between each set. And then I would progress as the patient is more successful. I would start to fade the tactile cues and support that I provide. And then after the patient can successfully do 10 marches with each leg independently without using her arms for support, then I would progress to a softer surface and provide tactile support as needed, and then progress to fading that and having it in the